My name is Hannah, and this is my no-buy year. Once again, it is very hot today, and once again, I'm leaving my windows open. I really appreciated those of you on my last video who commented that it wasn't that loud, that you couldn't really hear anything. I can hear it when I'm editing, but maybe my editing program actually does a better job of filtering out background noise than I think it does. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it anymore. Thank you so much for the feedback. I just got home from work and I'm going to a party tonight. It's a karaoke party. I'm going to be singing some karaoke and I am going to put on some makeup, but I'm not going to take off the little makeup that I was wearing today on my eyes, and I'm going to kind of work with my face without totally washing my face and then starting over again from nothing. So I thought I might as well film my transition from day to night and let you guys know what I do to spruce myself up for the evening without having to start completely over. So I've already taken a shower, and as you can see, my hair is up on top of my head. What I frequently do in situations like this is I'll put a little bit of product into my hair. I put like a little bit of dry shampoo that gives some grit and hold into my hair, and then I'll put it right up on top of my head, like on the very tippy top in a bun, a loose, messy bun, while I'm getting ready. With my hair up in a bun, I was able to keep everything from the neck up out of the water. So I washed my body, but my hair stayed dry and my face stayed untouched. The steam in the shower did get in amongst my face makeup a little bit. My face got a little bit damp just from the steam, but I'm going to be removing that makeup in a minute anyway, so I didn't mind that. And when I got out of the shower, I did pat my face dry with a towel. I just was careful to pat around my eyes and not to mess with my eye makeup. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put on a lip plumper to help nourish and exfoliate my lips while I go about doing the rest of my face. And I'm not going to tell you the names of the products that I'm using in this demonstration. I'm just going to tell you the types of the products that I'm using. I'll list everything in the description box down below in case you're really curious, but I want you to be able to follow along and be inspired by this demonstration without feeling the urge to buy the specific products that I have. I'm guessing that many of you have makeup products in your collection already that will work just as well as what I have. So the exact products don't really matter. It's the types of products, the colors, the finishes, and the way that we apply them that matters. So I'm going to go ahead and dramatize my eyes. I'd like to have my eyes be kind of a smoky, sparkly situation and be the focus of the look at this party tonight. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just go in with some black eyeliner and put it in my waterline to ground the look. As you can see, to work today I wore a monochromatic look. It's just a single shadow patted onto my lid and buffed out. It's kind of a smoky khaki green with some glitter in it, and it's gotten kind of patchy as the day has worn on. It's not in the best shape, but it will provide a good base for the look that I have planned. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. I hope it's not too horrific because my face isn't that clean. You can definitely see the sort of patchy situation I'm working with here. So I am not going to take off my mascara. I think it's still in pretty good shape from the day. I'll probably layer some more onto it later, but I am having to work around it, which is tough because it's making my lashes really thick and stiff. But I sometimes think that we are overly concerned with precision on YouTube, especially watching these really, really precise, amazing makeup artists do really, really clean, symmetrical graphic looks, which is a lot of what we see on YouTube. I want to be more comfortable with kind of messy, casual, sensual eye looks, so I'm trying not to be too worried about having to work around my mascara and possibly not coming up with the most symmetrical or the cleanest look. That smudgy, sensual, sexy, smoky eye is what I'm going for. So now I've really packed that thick, gooey liner all around my lashes and into my waterline and into my tight line. I've really clunked up the base of my lashes with that product. And I put a pretty thick line above my lashes, above my lash line, and I'm going to use that as a base for some product to stick to. I think I'm actually going to go in with the same eyeshadow that I already have on my lids and just deepen up that outer V a little bit. It's a single, so I can actually show it to you. Here's what it looks like. I'm using a little brush shaped like this. I'm actually going to start with my finger and then buff it out. This is similar to what I did this morning. It's almost like I'm reapplying what was there this morning, but a little more. And this morning I put it all over my lids. Right now I'm keeping it in the outer corner. I've been trying to decide what I'm gonna sing at karaoke. My usual go-to at karaoke is Amy Winehouse because I have a deep voice, as you can tell. But I think today I might go in for some Marilyn Monroe. I've been practicing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and I feel pretty confident that I can kill it. Do you guys have go-to karaoke songs? Let me know what your go-to karaoke song is in the comments section down below. All right, so that's pretty well packed in. I'm gonna start with a clean brush, just buffing out the edge of that and blending it in with what's already there. I'm trying to draw this out a little bit. I'm picking up a little more product on the brush actually, because it's quite patchy kind of out here. So I just want to smooth that out by adding a little more product. I'm doing my best. It's not going to be perfect. This is a bigger and much stiffer brush, almost like a stippling brush that I often use to buff out the very edges in a firmer way. That got kind of too far out for comfort for me. This is just a dry cotton pad, by the way. A wet one would make a really harsh line trying to clean this up, and that's not what I want. I want it to be diffuse. Now I'm actually going to try to do sort of the same thing on the other side. All right, that looks fairly symmetrical and definitely messy, which is my goal. Before I dip into the black eyeshadow, I'm going to take the liner that I was using and put even more liner in the outer V. It's messy, but I'm going to be smudging it out with the black. I'm giving the black something to stick to. I'm actually going to go ahead and work on my lower lash line before I go in with the glittery part, because I just want to see how it looks. So I'm taking this pointy little pencil brush back into that original shadow, the one that I was wearing today, the one that I held the pan up of, and I want to really go kind of low. All right, back in with the eyeliner. So that's pretty much the base that I wanted. I'm gonna tap some glitter over top of it. I think because it's a party, I'm gonna be singing and sweating and it's gonna be several hours, I'm gonna use a little bit of glitter glue for the glitter eyeshadow. So I'm just squirting a little bit out onto my finger. Then I'm actually shearing it out a little bit. I don't want to get too much on my lid. And I'm going to place that I'm going to start with just a little bit right in the center of the lid, kind of airing on the inside edge, but it's really just right in the center. And then I'm immediately on my other finger going to take the glitter, the eyeshadow, and pat that over it. So I've definitely placed that glitter eyeshadow beyond the the glitter glue. Like I put a little bit of glitter glue and then I put the glitter eyeshadow over a larger surface area. And so there's some that might not be glued, which is okay. It's just that the glue will help the core of it stick. And also where it's glued, it's a lot more foiled, and then as it diffuses out beyond the glue, it becomes a little bit more diffuse and more of a sheer topper. This is what it looks like in the pan. It's just a really, really glittery, dense shadow that it's so glittery that it can be kind of hard to work with. But if you spend the time, the payoff is magnificent. So I'm gonna add a little bit more black with this little stipply brush and just buff out the edges of that and make sure that the smokiness of the look doesn't get lost in the glitter. And then I'm actually dipping into that first shade, that glittery khaki, and just buffing over some of the black with it. I feel like the black has really taken over, as can sometimes happen, and I want it to be a little bit more dimensional than that. I'm taking this very fluffy and totally clean brush. I'm even sort of softening this into my inner corner, which doesn't have, there's nothing on the brush, so it's not really bringing shadow. Maybe like a tiny residue of it, but it's helping to soften the edges of that inner portion. So there it is. I haven't cleaned anything up. It's pretty messy. I'm gonna zoom back out. Obviously there's mascara on my eyes, and this is kind of tough. It's like hard to go over mascara with mascara. I obviously don't mind the spidery, clumpy mascara look, especially with this eye look, but I'm still gonna try to be kind of careful and separate my lashes as best I can and just try to control the situation a little bit. My lower lashes are very long, and most days with most looks, I actually don't fully paint them with mascara. Sometimes I even pinch the mascara off of like the bottom third because it can look kind of clockwork orangey and super weird if it's a lighter eye look. With this look, however, I'm letting them live their best lives. My brows are looking pretty decent. I think I'm going to just brush them up a tiny bit more. Again, they've like already got gel in them. So it's almost like it's breaking up the solidification of the gel from the day and realigning it into a slightly fluffier shape. Now let's take care of my poor put upon complexion. I'm going to use my Bioderma on a cotton pad and just take off as much of what is on my face as I can. But I'm going to be really careful not to take the soaked cotton pad too sharply up close to my buffed out eye look. I don't want to make a sharp line out of the diffuse line that I've put there, so I'm going to work carefully around that and just try to clean up the rest of my face. This is actually a dry cotton. So my face is feeling a little bit parched because of that Bioderma. I am not going to be putting on sunscreen right now because by the time we leave, it'll probably be dark or the sun will be almost set. I think I'm just gonna pop on a little bit of Buffet, my peptide serum. All right, and then I'm going to go over that with a hydrating primer. If you've been following my channel closely, then you know that I didn't have a hydrating primer in my collection. A friend recently offloaded a few things onto me, and one of them was this hydrating primer. I'll talk about it in my next empties video. So I'm actually taking a minute to kind of put away some of my brushes and think about what I'm going to put on my face next and just organize my stuff while that primer sets down. I really don't want to disturb it at all, so I'm going to give it a good like 2 or 3 minutes at the least.
But square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
All right, I'm back. It still feels a little bit tacky, but it's so warm. I think that this is just how it's gonna be. I am going to try to keep my skin as bare looking, as natural looking, as humanly possible right now, because I feel like with a super smoked out editorial look like this eye look, I'm really right on the edge of looking like really full glam, like I've put on a full face of makeup, and I don't want to look like that at this particular party. It's kind of a casual party. There aren't going to be a lot of makeup wearers there. I don't want to come in looking like Jaclyn Hill. I mean, nothing against Jaclyn Hill, but you know what I'm saying. I don't want to walk in looking like a beauty guru. I want to walk in looking like a girl who had fun with her eye makeup tonight. And I think that to make sure that I err on the side of looking like fun eye makeup girl instead of looking like full glam girl who did way too much for this party, I need to keep the skin low key. So I'm not going to use foundation. I'm going to try to keep as much of my skin actually bare as possible. And to take care of this dramatic redness, I'm going to use my green color corrector. There's something I really love about a strong eye look and a super natural skin. I think that that's kind of one of the chicest things that I can think of these days for a party. Okay, so that has taken care of a lot of the redness that was just on my skin, but my blemishes are still showing. So I'm going to spot conceal those. So that's the spot concealing done. One thing that I'm very tempted to do, but that I'm going to abstain from doing yet, if ever today, is putting concealer in my under eye area. I'm definitely red there, and you can definitely see like this kind of line. You know that line, that old thing? I could conceal that area, I could brighten it, but I find that on me, and this might not be true for everyone, but I think it's partly just because of my skin tone and the natural redness in my skin. When I do that, it does make me look brighter and more awake, but it also makes me look a lot more like I'm wearing makeup. And I'm going to keep the kind of shiny, fresh look all across the middle of the face right now, and then at the end I'm going to reassess and see if I like it, because I can always add that concealer in, but I can't take it away. And sometimes when I'm going for a really fresh skin look, I just go in by force of habit and put concealer there, and then I instantly regret it. So I'm not going to do it yet. I am going to take a lightish, shimmeryish, champagne-ish, peachy-ish bronzer on a big fluffy brush. So I'm taking some of that shimmery bronzer and just using this eyeshadow brush to really soften the edge and blend the bronzer into the edge of the eye look. I think that has really, really helped the eyes. I'm even going to take some of that bronzer down onto my neck, along the jawline. Just trying to help myself look a little bit less stark white. I think that helps make the eye look a little bit less shocking. So for the lips, I'm just gonna keep it as neutral as possible. I'm just gonna take a My Lips But Better lip liner that's pretty dry formula, which means I think it will be as tenacious as possible as the night wears on. And I'm gonna do as subtle and natural a job slightly overlining my lips as possible. And I'm also gonna use this to fill them in a little bit. So I like this. My lips, they still look like lips, like they still, you can see the texture, you can see the lines, you can see the skin. They look a little bit dry, they look real. But the color is a little bit richer and the shape is a little bit bigger because I've lined the part of my lips that is usually the color of my skin instead of the color of my lips. But it's an illusion because if you look close, I'm not sure sometimes on camera, my lips look more richly colored than they look in real life. In real life, it kind of looks like maybe I was wearing a lipstick all day and it wore off thoroughly, and this is the result. So I feel less made up than I would if I had gone in with a different technique and a different product. All right, I am going to leave that. I'm gonna leave my skin. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about, but the redness kind of comes all the way into here. So I would probably look fresher and younger if I went in there with some concealer, but I would also look more made up, and I'm willing to make the trade. I want to look like a 33-year-old woman who enjoys her eyeshadow and has fresh, natural skin. So I'm leaving it as is. I'm also not going to highlight with anything right now. I think the eyes are enough. There's a little bit of shimmer in the bronzer that I used, and I'm sure that I will get dewy as the night goes on. I am gonna put on a touch of setting spray. Yeah, I like that I can really see my skin. When I'm looking in the mirror, my forehead is totally bare. I can really see that there's no makeup there. And I can really see that there's no makeup like on the inner part of my face, close to my nose. And that's what people really look at when they look at you. They look at your eyes, they look at your skin right there. And even though I've concealed some blemishes around here on my chin, you can still see the texture of what's going on there. It doesn't look like a whitewashed plane of texture. It looks like the blemishes are there, but they're much further along in their healing process than they actually are because I've toned down the redness a little bit with my concealer. I think I'm gonna go with a center. I look so much shorter now that my bun is gone. There we go. I think I'll go with a side part tonight. I don't know, maybe like this kind of thing. There, I feel like that kind of suits the look. I'm gonna think about it. I might take it down before I get to the party, but for now I'm gonna leave it like this. And that is it. That is how I take my makeup from day to night when I don't really have enough time to wash it all off completely and start over. I really enjoy this process. I like these days where I can run home from work and quickly transform whatever is already on my face into something much more glamorous and then run back out again to some kind of party or dance event. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll remember to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.